Hi everyone, welcome to Live Your Happy 365 with Maria and Christian. I will be facilitating the workbook lesson for today, which is lesson 76. I am under no laws but God's. Wow. This one, this one, I feel like Jesus gives us a happy slap in the face. And what stands out for me is this part in section 4, paragraph 4. It says, "It is insanity that thinks these things. You call them laws and put them under different names, right? In a long catalog of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine, of economics, and of health, protect the body, and you will be saved." Then on the top there on section 3, it says, you really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips, piles of metal discs. You really think a small round pellet or some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle will ward off disease and death? You really think that you are alone unless another body is with you? It is insanity that thinks these things. Let's just breathe into that. And I just have so much coming through with this lesson, and I'll share as much as I can and as much as wants to come through. But first thing is, it's not literal. I feel that sometimes we take the course very literal. And basically what this section is saying is that we're a little bit zombied out, and we really believe that our salvation is outside of us. It doesn't mean that we don't need to like money, or it doesn't mean that we don't need to get vaccines, or it doesn't mean that we don't need to go to the doctor. It just means that just be mindful of what's going on. Just what are you doing, and who are you doing it with? Because it does appear that we're in a body, and it does appear that we're experiencing this realm. So we start from there. And again, I feel like when you let go of the guilt of needing these things or wanting these things or believing these things, they start to have less attachment, and you start to come back to the real world, to the happy dream. And what happens is that right now we feel that we're under the law of death. We feel that we're under the law of our separated self. We're under the law of the ego, of our egoic self. We're under the law of that separated self, and we believe that we're under that law. And it's the law of war, right? So we have a constant war with ourselves, and we're like little children, just having tantrums about life, about ourselves, about just in general. We're just inside. There's this unconsciousness, and we all have it. It's like this little kid having a huge tantrum, and very scared because they feel that they've separated from God and have chosen to be separate from God. So we experience being under the law of pain, under the law of suffering, under the law of medicine, under the law of government, under the law of what this world says is real. And that's the law that we've been experiencing, this law of fear. So what this says here is what is really true. And we can say this in first person, which is the lesson, I am under no laws but God. Boom. What happens there is that, pow, I am under no laws but God, and you really start to step into that. And that law is love. The law of God has nothing to do with this world, but it has everything to do with the way you're going to experience this world. And the more that you experience this world in the love that it is, the more that we wake up within this dream and remember our Father. The law of God is a law that there's no war. The law of God is the law of truth, is the law of union, is the law of wholeness, is the law of where you laugh at your silly stories. You laugh at your drama. You laugh at, oh my God, I forgot who I was. Oh my goodness, I really believe that I could be hurt. Oh my God, let me laugh at that. I really believed at that moment that I could be hurt and that someone could hurt me. we start to come into the kingdom of heaven, and within the kingdom of heaven, which is that space of love, God rules that space. But we're so terrified of that space. We're so terrified of that law, because the law that we've been governed by has been the law of separation. And even though it has sucked ass, it has felt very real. And it's what we identify with. So at this time, I just invite you today to remember that you are under no laws but God's. And as we are under the law of God, the umbrella of God, the, how do you call it? The Constitution is very different. And that Constitution just needs to have one word. It doesn't need to have a lot of different things written on that Constitution. And the Constitution is that only love is real and all else is an illusion, is what's written in that Constitution. I love you guys. You're in my heart. Till next time. Choo choo.